Hey guys, it's construction day 139, and I'm here at the work site nice and early. Got here at 8 a.m. Wilma is still under the weather, so I'm swimming solo here. We got a lot going on today, so met the contractor here nice and early, and he wanted to go over the electrical layout for all the lighting. So I mean, it's actually pretty complicated. So it took us a while because we're talking about carport and the overhang, the island lights, and then all the lights in the ceiling, all the bedrooms and the hallway, the CRs. How many different gang switches do we want? Like the bedrooms, for example, each bedroom will have 5 lights. One in each corner, so that'll be on a circuit by itself, and then one larger light in the center, which will also be on its own circuit. So what I mean by that is you can just turn on the center one, or you could just turn on the 4 in the corner, or you could turn all 5 lights on at once. And then on top of that, each light will have 3 different color choices. So we went through it with a map, drew everything out, and it took a while because there's a lot of outlets and there's a lot of LED lights in the ceiling, and we want to make sure that we have the right switch tied to the right lights. We don't want to make it too confusing. So we drew the map. There's a new sheriff in town. We have a second foreman on site. You guys know him from early on. He was here when we were doing the columns. His name is PD, and he's on site, and he's actually going to help run a lot of the electric over the next few days, because we want to get that done simply because they want to start the ceilings. Did hear back from the aircon guys at City Hardware. They're ready to go for this coming Tuesday. So all 4 of the aircons will be installed this Tuesday. And we want to get all that piping done before the ceiling goes on as well. So more painting going on. And Janelle is still working the pool. So definitely quite a bit happening. And let's go up to the work site and see what's going on. The guys are on their first break, so I figured I'd do a quick video here. So in the intro, I mentioned about all the electrical plan that we went over with the contractor and PD, who's going to be doing all the electrical here over the next few days. And I'm not sure how long it's going to take them, but we did go over the plan, and we did everything on a drawing. So just as a quick example, this will be a 3-gang switch. So there'll be 3 different switches here. One will be the hallway here light, the lights that'll be up into the ceiling to illuminate the hallway. And then the other 2 will be for the 6 LED lights that'll be in this living room area, because we're splitting this room in half. So just as an example, there'll be 6 LEDs here in the ceiling. There'll be 6 LEDs in the kitchen, and then there'll also be a drop for the island with 3 pendant lights. So all separate switches. So this switch here will handle the hallway, and then we'll also handle these 6 lights. But the way we'll do it is the lights on the outside will be on one switch, and then the lights in the center, the 3 lights in the center, will be on a separate switch, because you don't always want all the lights on at once, right? So basically what we'll do is half the lights will be on one switch and half the lights will be on another, depending on how much light you actually want. So that's what we had to go through today, and we had to do that for the entire house. So it was a little complicated, and of course translation is always tough. I'll give you an example. On all these columns, there'll be lights mounted on the side. The 5 columns that go across, that'll be on one switch, which will happen to be there. And then also, there'll be, I believe, 9 LEDs for the 2-meter overhang. So you may want the overhang lights on, but not the column lights, and vice versa. So we want to make sure that they're on different gang switches. So, for example, those lights will be there with a 2-gang switch. And then just lastly, this right here will handle the master. Again, it'll be 4 LEDs, 1 in each corner and 1 larger one in the center. And again, you don't want all 5 on at once sometimes. Maybe you just want the center one on or the 4 corners. So an example, that'll be a 2-gang switch. So we have the option to have all the lights on or just some of the lights if you don't want it to be illuminated so much. So a little complicated. Went through step by step, took an hour. It's all mapped out. PD says he's got it. And now he'll start working on getting all the conduit run and getting all the wires pulled. And then we'll be ready for sealing here probably late this week or early next week. I mentioned in the intro that the aircons will be installed. So they wanted to get the painting underway, even though we could still install the aircons and just paint around it because the cover comes off. And we could just paint around it, put the cover back on. But they are working on the painting now. And we may do another change. Just talking to the contractor, and again, he has way more experience than I have. He's really not a fan of having semi-gloss paint. So we're probably gonna take this once again to a light tan color. So they have the initial flat white on. We got the skim coat, and then they just put on a flat white base, and then more than likely we'll come back with a light tan as a second color. So stay tuned for that. And they have enough paint to do the bathrooms, so they started working on fixing. Remember, there was a area there that needed to be rendered and skim coated. They came back through because of all the cement, put a skim coat. Now they have to sand all this, and then this will be painted semi-gloss. So that should be done today. And they were also able, this is where the guys are storing all the electrical supplies. Look at that. Try to figure that out. But you can see the tinge of gray. Now again, all the finish work up there still needs to be done. You know, they still got to do a second coat, but this is the initial coat. Looks real good. Same thing with the spare bedroom number 2. Looks like they got the first coat on. Not sure what they're waiting for there. Maybe just to verify that that leak has been fixed. Not sure. But things are definitely starting to move. So electrical lights will be run over the next few days, and then they'll continue on with the painting. And then next step is to continue the grout throughout the house, finish the master bathroom tile, and then they'll get working on the ceiling as well as the aircon install next Tuesday. So here in the master bathroom, you can see now that they got the main room completed, Robert is here now finishing the inside shower wall. So he's getting that done today. And look what they do with the scaffolding. To make sure that the tile doesn't get scratched, they put cardboard and tie it all the way around all 4 of the legs of the cocoa lumber here. Just to make sure that the tile doesn't get scratched. And then they also lay down more cardboard, so it's double cardboard. So I thought that was good, not to get scratched. But they're gonna knock this out, and then they're gonna be switching to the other side and tiling the vanity side. My understanding is that's gonna start today as well. Last week that was Wilma's job. But now it's Ramil's. No more sweeping for Wilma. So another one of the topics that we talked about with the contractor, and I'm really, when it comes to finishing, I'm really listening to what his recommendations are. So, you know, we like white. I think you know that. Basically, the whole house is white. But he's saying, you know, with this tile that has all these tans and beiges and a little bit of white, he really doesn't like this transition. He says you got to have a little color, just a little bit. He says you don't want to go darker, but a little bit lighter. So what I did was I took a piece of the tile that we used right here in the shower, right? So you can see that gives a little color. Doesn't that look nice? So I took a piece, and I'm going to bring both pieces with me to the store. I'm getting ready to leave the work site now and drive that hour trek to City Hardware in Sabulin, solo. But see how this right here is lighter than this? Now we don't want to go this dark on the wall. That'd be too dark. And remember I told you we don't want to go darker on the wall than the floor color. Wilma and I always like having the floor the darkest and then the walls lighter. And then the ceiling, you know, pure white. So this is nice. And it would blend, right? If we paint all this, that color, it would pick up on the color in there. So it makes sense. So now what my goal is today, and I'll try to film it, but there's a lot of music in City Hardware. My quest today, being solo, is to try to find that color in the Philippines. And if I can find that color in the Philippines, I'm gonna buy it. And then we will basically paint this room that lighter color. So I'll try to just do it a couple different angles just to give the walls a little bit of color. So I'm gonna take these two pieces with me and wish me luck. Looks like the clouds are starting to break up a little bit. It was cloudy this morning. Looked like it was going to shower, but it didn't. But definitely breezy. So take a look at what Jernell was able to accomplish in a pretty short amount of time. So I was watching him this morning as he was wrapping everything up. So he's still working on the rendering. So remember, the blocks that we did was 1 inch recessed in to allow him to render. So now we got lots of options here. Now this is going to be backfilled, but again, what it's going to allow me to do is when I build up the driveway here and have the driveway poured, now I'll be able to come in straighter and not have such a high slope. Because grass really wouldn't grow on a slope like that, I don't think. I don't think it would look that good. We could put rocks on it, and but then, you know, someone steps on it and the rocks, you know, will go down. I always have to be fixing them. So I just didn't like the corner. So look how good this looks. Now he's still working it. He's still smoothing out the rendering, but look on this side. Look how great that looks. So now what I envision, now we're gonna have to put a level on this, and we got a lot of gravel here that kind of takes away from understanding what level is. But I want to make sure that this area right here is just a little higher than the driveway. So just by, you know, a few inches. So not the high slope that it was, but to come in maybe around here and have a little reveal here. And we can do whatever we want with this concrete. I would imagine we just probably put like a waterproof epoxy on it, gray color, we'll see. But have the dirt level be about here. Probably put decorative stone, possibly grass, and then slope it slightly till it meets up with the driveway, because again, we're always trying to have any rainwater that hits constantly shedding down and out. on both sides of the house. So the same thing on this side, down and out. We don't want things puddling. You know, this will have to be a little bit of a crown here, just by a couple inches. So I'm very, very pleased with this. Janelle, great job, Janelle. This guy got this done in no time. So looking good. And now once this dries, we'll work on the backfill. And then we're going to have to put a snap line on this, or I'm sorry, Filipino level line. And after, we probably move that dirt, which is next, get that dirt down here. Because we do, again, want just a few inches higher. So it obviously water will shed away. So that's the goal. And this was a project that you guys have heard about if you've been watching our videos for a while. It's probably been, what, about 6 weeks since we talked about this. And we finally got it done. All right, Wilma, you'll see this on the playback tonight. Ramel is taking care of your floor. He's going around making sure that there's no bits of concrete or anything like that. And if any little spillage of paint, Ramel is going around and wiping it up for you, okay, Wilma? He's taking care of business. So another bit of good news. Another conversation I had with the contractor today is that our cabinets are going to be done early. I think you remember we said January 21st. That was the estimated time to get the cabinets on site, including the island. So what I was told is by the end of next week. So what is that? Call it 7th and it's about the 14th. That's just a guess. So somewhere around the 14th of January. So that's a week early because the estimation was the 21st. But all our cabinets should be on site by January 14th. And I think I told you guys, since that's a third party, they'll come and they'll install the cabinets as well as the island. And then at that point, we can start talking about getting the granite that we already purchased on site. And I think that's going to be a challenge. Stay tuned. So in the playback, on just a video before this, this corner right here, this is just rendering, was a little crooked. And I don't know if you've seen that on the playback. So Janelle straightened that out. I didn't say a word. I knew he would. He was down there working this area right here. But when I did the playback, I said, oh boy, someone's going to comment that it's crooked. Now this is all going to be covered with dirt anyway, so it doesn't matter. But Janelle got it all nice and straight, and I just wanted you guys to see that. So I didn't want to do a video without a short clip of the boys and Sandy. So just a quick story. You guys know I was here with the contractor early this morning. So I came up site and I had 2 containers of food. One for the boys and then one for Sandy, which we typically do because we put like condensed milk, and Wilma really chops up the chicken very fine for the boys. And then Sandy normally gets like sardines in a can on top of rice and whatever scraps from our dinner the night before. So what happened, I was in the middle room talking with the contractor, and Sandy, and I wish I got it on camera, it would have been perfect. Sandy took one of the containers, and I had it in a plastic bag, and she actually picked it up with her mouth, just like this. I don't know how she did it. And picked it up and carried it and brought it into the main room and set it down right next to where I was standing talking to the contractor. And the contractor saw it as well, and he was laughing. He saw it first, actually. And he was like, look, Sandy's trying to give you a message. So she had this container that was full of food in her mouth, and she actually took it. I had it right here, sitting on the floor in a plastic bag. And she went in there, picked it, and carried it and set it down on my feet. So I thought that was a pretty cute story. So just a real quick, short video of the boys. because you guys know I got to run to Sabulin, and there they are. They're just relaxing. They ate about probably an hour ago now. They ate, but they're just doing well. And I think somebody mentioned that they should have some blankets here. They do. Wilma has sheets up here for them, but they care for the construction material. So they're laying here on the cardboard and the cement bags, and it seems like this is their hangout spot right here in the beginning of the carport. So quick video of the boys, and I'm off to Sabulin City Hardware.